I taught my autistic partner, Liam, how to make pancakes, and he has been making pancake nonsense for 4 days. Original post. Today he has expanded into adding blueberries, chocolate chips, and strawberries into the pancakes. Relevant comments. Commenter 1 subtly drop him a video about crepes and expand to savory options. Original poster, Liam's partner, planning to. I love cooking and hoping this is a good way to introduce to him why I love cooking. Commenter 2. That's your house husband now. Original poster. Actually, I'm the house husband because my partner runs his own business doing his special interest of building things for people, roofs, porches, kitchens, bathrooms, etc. People want to know how one man can do the work and a better job of 12 men. And it is just autism. Original poster. On being married to an autistic significant other. I love having an autistic partner. I love how direct he is with me. If there is an issue in our relationship, he will directly tell me instead of beating around the bush and letting it get worse. I have learned that love comes in many forms. He doesn't tell me he loves me. He makes me pancakes, or he gives me a really cool rock, or he writes love letters because he is awful at verbally saying how he feels, or he tells me a really odd fact about rhinos out of the blue. I know my partner genuinely loves me because I am the only one he can make direct eye contact with. Update. Our son loves dinosaurs, so after a couple of batches, my partner taught himself how to make pancake-shaped dinosaurs, and they come in a broad range of colors. Every morning, our son draws him a different dinosaur to make, and my partner flawlessly copies it into pancakes. I have known this man for 15 years, and he has never cooked one pancake, yet in a week and a half, he was making high-quality pancake art. My mother-in-law, Susan, told me she had her son tested, and he was perfectly normal. Normal people don't spend 5 hours Googling equipment for a hobby they picked up less than a week ago. Normal people don't go balls to the wall for a brand new hobby and get obsessive until they achieve perfection. You know, my partner is so bad at holding down a typical job. My in-laws would complain that my partner struggled holding down a simple high school after-school job, because he simply could not focus on one task. He will learn one task, grow bored of it, and then quit to chase the next interest. He actually runs his own company because he got tired of a typical job. He builds roofs or redesigns kitchens, baths, and beds, or he does minor builds like furniture or children's toys. There are 2 people in his company, himself and me. My only job is answering the work phone because he hates talking to new clients. I love watching him work. He can go into a kitchen that needs remodeling and just stare at it, and then he comes back home and builds what he needs, go back to the home, destroy the kitchen, and hang up new cabinets. Does he write anything down or measure anything? No, why? Because the numbers are in my head. Same thing with the pancakes. He doesn't use measuring cups because the pancakes tell me what they need. I swear, next time his parents visit us, they are getting a stack of autistic pancakes. Relevant comments. Commenter 1. Your partner sounds amazing. You're lucky to have each other. P.S. The autism likely comes from Susan's side if she thinks everything is normal. Liam's partner. Well, I thought everything my kids did was normal too. Liam is so much like his mom. She probably thinks he is normal because he acts so much like her. Both of them do things differently. Had Liam's partner been diagnosed properly based on his situation? Original poster, autism, ADHD, and OCD is what my partner is diagnosed with. Commenter 2. The fact that your mother-in-law had him tested and he's perfectly normal really gets me. If he's normal, what prompted her to have him tested? Original poster. My partner was having trouble focusing and sitting still in class in elementary school. Teacher asked his parents to get him tested. And well, this was 1993, and since my partner is a white male who can walk, talk, use the bathroom independently, there is no way he could be one of those children in special education. My mother-in-law swore up and down that there is nothing wrong with her son. He just has some quirks, and us new-age millennials want to put a label on everything. There were plenty of kids like her son back when she was a young girl, and they were fine. It wasn't actually until Elon Musk came out and said he has a form of autism. Both Elon and my partner talk the same. You can tell their brains are going a million miles an hour, and their mouth is trying to keep up and explain what they mean at the same time. Now, my mother-in-law is finally learning that autism doesn't have a stereotypical look to it, and she is finally trying to come to terms that maybe there is something wrong with her son's quirks. Now to the next story. Story 2. Am I the jerk for refusing to confess just to take communion at my brother's wedding? Original post. I, 31, female, have 3 siblings, 40, male, 38, female, 27, male, and we have a good relationship despite the age gaps between some of us. My older siblings are both married, and so am I. The wedding in question is my younger brother's. My younger brother, Mark, is engaged to his girlfriend of a year, Anna, 28, female. She is nice, I guess, but we have never really clicked and are just polite to each other. Something important is that we are all Catholic, but not really hardcore ones, and some of us are even lapsed. I do believe this whole situation started just when I met her for the first time. I look younger than Mark, and it has always been a sibling joke that I'm truly the baby of the family. Most people that meet us assume he is older than me, but nobody has had issues with it until Anna. The day I met her, she kind of scoffed when I said I was happy the baby had a proper girlfriend. She has this weird thing about being the eldest in her family and refused to believe I was older than her until I showed her my ID. She has been hot and cold with me since then, often infantilizing me or trying to have a sort of boss attitude. I just let her be and usually ignore her since I have no time to try and beg for her friendship. So I'm just polite and civil, always include her when planning stuff, but don't really make an effort. The family knows about it, but we just shrugged it to different personalities. Then the wedding planning started. Anna decided I could not be in the wedding party since I was not married in a church. Fine by me. Then she requested that the immediate family submit their dress planning, so she could check it fits the wedding dress code. Fine, whatever. You see where this is going, I hope. You'll see I have not gone to confession or had communion in more than a decade. If I go to a mass for whatever reason, I am respectful and simply sit or stay standing during the rites. I don't participate in. Well, this is not good enough for her, and she says I need to take communion during their wedding. I said no, and she has not taken it well. For the most part, I avoid her, as I said before, but this time, I wasn't going to say yes or risk an issue. I told her that for taking communion, one needs to go to confession, and I didn't want to. She said all the immediate family is doing it, and it will look bad if I don't. I told her, sure, fine, then I'll just go have communion in front of everybody, but won't do confession. She said if this was going to be my attitude, I was uninvited from the wedding because I clearly wanted to ruin the day for her. I turned to my brother and told him thanks, gave him a thumbs up, and went home. My family understood my reasoning and said they respect everybody's choices, but I shouldn't have said what I said. I told them I really don't want to go to the wedding anymore, and I don't owe Anna explanations on my life. I only called my grandma because she heard what happened and asked me not to disrespect the church by doing the communion without confession. I promised I wouldn't do it, and she is fine with me now. I got a text from my brother wanting to compromise, so I replied by asking if the other lapsed people are being made to take confession too. He said no because it was only nuclear family members. I find it funny since all the others are clearly older than her, and she just behaves like this with me and the youngsters. Some of original poster's comments. Commenter, you should alert the priest to her behavior. He will ensure that she stops with her actions. She cannot make rules that do not exist in the church. I would send a quick email to him and let her deal with the consequences of her own actions. Original poster, I actually considered it, but I don't think I will since my grandma might be doing it herself. She has lapsed herself, but didn't want me to be disrespectful. But she knows the priest that will be officiating and is not really happy with all the show Anna is pushing this. I honestly believe it's more her trying to have authority over me than her religious views. My oldest brother finds it ridiculous, but said he would not intervene unless I ask him to, which I appreciate, cause despite Mark acting like I don't want more drama. Commenter, just consider that the less you do, the longer this drama will go on. Maybe getting more people involved would actually shut her behavior down for good. Original poster, I don't want to give her the attention she craves. My grandma said she will handle it with the priest, and I will simply sit down. My whole family and most of the common friends know already. Mark and Anna themselves told them and shot themselves, demand an apology in order to go. I already told my parents I am not coming no matter what. They are clearly not pleased with how she spoke to me, but even more displeased with my brother, but we agreed on not intervening more. If he wants to marry her, it's his decision. He's an adult and needs no permission, but what he would lose has been made clear to him. Commenter, I would let grandma handle it. She sounds feisty. How old is she? Original poster, my grandpa used to say she was like a firecracker, lol. She's 81 and has been lapsed for like 25 years. I think she still has friends in the church community and all, but they respect her decision not to participate in the rites anymore. Commenter, yeah, I would definitely let her handle it then. Please keep us updated. I really want to know if the wedding even happens. Original poster, I am conflicted because I do love Mark very much, but I dislike him right now. I know Grandma is fair and just. Also now I am sure Anna doesn't even know why Grandma has lapsed and might be in for a shock. Commenter, can't you just go get a blessing? I'm an atheist, but my parents are hardcore Catholics, and my dad became a deacon last year. They asked us, me and my siblings, to go get blessings as a compromise as none of us are religious. I still declined personally, but my understanding is that going to get a blessing is common for non-confirmed and considered an act of participation if you're just lapsed rather than actively rejectful. Then that seems like a perfect compromise, and one where you can pretend to be going for communion before crossing your arms before the priest or whichever signal said church uses. Original poster, my issue is not about the blessing. It's that she singles me out and wants to have some sort of authority above me. A bunch of my family are lapsed, but she has not made a big deal over it except of me. Her stupid argument falls apart because my oldest brother is also lapsed, but she doesn't seem to care, or maybe she has not realized it. She has not mentioned anything to him, but is making a huge deal because I don't participate. One of the top comments, Lucky Effective 1564, NTA, who died and made Anna Pope. Original poster, LOL, I will share this particular one with my grandma next time we talk. She is going to love it. Update post 1. Things have moved, but I wouldn't call any of this a positive progress. I would like to clear something I kept seeing in the comments. I won't request a special blessing or go in the queue for communion. It isn't about the blessing or the compromise, but the singling me out. I often just stay quiet or take a general family blessing if we go to weddings, etc. I have no issue with compromises. I have an issue with Anna and her ridiculousness. I don't know why she has this thing with me. I do look young, but not like a teen or a child, obviously. She has 2 younger sisters and is very authoritative with them. I have witnessed her being very my way or the highway with younger people, so she has issues for sure. The confrontation from the last post was on Tuesday, and today we had lunch at my grandma's. I think you should also know that my brothers have a tricky relationship, as in they are not as close with each other as they are with other siblings. My older brother, Paul, is very no-nonsense, and he has never been a fan of Anna, but he didn't think he should have to intervene because Mark is an adult and capable of navigating relationships. All this is going to be relevant, I promise. We visit Grandma a lot since she lives by herself, and we truly enjoy her company. Today, we were all there because she is over this drama already. After a lunch that was more like snacking, to be honest, she asked us all to clear the air. Anna continued with her rant about me being a disrespectful person and that she was asking the bare minimum for me. My grandma asked her why she had no issue with her not taking communion, and Anna said that she was her elder and, for sure, her reasons were more than a tantrum like it was in my case. She also repeated that she was asking this of all the siblings, and I was the only one that was being difficult with her tiny request. This is where everything crumbled for her. I mentioned in the comments that Paul is also lapsed, and he was already exhausted by this situation. He asked her why she had no issues with him not taking communion, and she looked like a kid that was caught. She didn't have a proper answer. Paul then asked her if she even knew why he and Grandma became lapsed. She shook her head and looked at Mark for help. Mark, on the other hand, was staring angrily at Paul and I, but said nothing. Paul explained to Anna he was the reason Grandma became lapsed. When Paul was a teen, he came out as gay and was so worried about our grandparents' reaction since they were very active in the Catholic Church. Grandma felt awful about it, and even worse when she went and spoke about this with the then priest of her church. That priest was super old school and told her that Paul was committing sins. He was going to hell. He needed to find his way, the whole 9 yards. Grandma didn't take that so well and simply stopped going to church and started spending that time with her grandchildren. Over the years, she started getting into the whole community again, but she decided she was done taking the sacraments. She respects parts of the church, but can't fully reconcile with it. Anna was a bit confused since Paul is married to a woman, and he explained he is bisexual and ended up with a woman just as he could have ended with a man. He also commented they are not married in the church, but that didn't matter to her like it mattered when it came to me. He asked her directly, what was her problem with me? Long story short, she said I was rude since the beginning and kept treating Mark wrong. Oh, and I also was very snarky about looking younger than her. Crickets. She is a beautiful, successful woman. so I still don't understand her obsession, but it seems like she wants people to see I respect her and what she says. I just started laughing. She started crying and saying I turned my grandma against her. My grandma told her to stop blaming people for her being a negative person, and she was always going to side with me over her. Mark got upset at that and asked her why she was not supporting him, and she simply said she doesn't support him being a lapdog for a crazy woman. More was said, nothing got truly resolved. I was kind of invited again, but declined going. Grandma is undecided if she even wants to go at all. My older siblings told Mark they will go to the ceremony if he seeks couples therapy, or at least therapy. My parents are having headaches and now dislike Anna so much they can't hide it. Oh, and yes, Grandma spoke with the priest, and he wants them to do extra premarital counseling, or he won't officiate. I hope they don't get married, but he is old enough to derail his life if he wants. I thank you for letting me vent, and my grandma loved the Pope joke. Update 2, my brother has gone too far, and I decided to be done with him. He made our grandma cry, and I think permanently damaged a lot of his relationships. I want to mention some of my cousins and other family members thought I was just stubborn and creating drama, but now there is no longer my side or Anna's side. Maybe he always felt this way, but the issue he has with Paul is absolutely ridiculous. He was so upset with what Grandma said about him being Anna's lapdog that he called her to speak about it. I was obviously not present for the conversation, but Grandma told me what happened, and Mark confirmed it. He told her that it was unfair of me to ask Paul for help since he was her favorite grandchild and would get her to side with me no matter how wrong I was. He also told her that many of the cousins believe this, and that it was so obvious since she even left her religion for him. He claimed the other LGBTQ+ members of the family, most were not even born when Paul came out, by the way, doubted if she would do it for them. So, Grandma explained to Mark and then called every single one of her grandchildren to ask them how they felt and explained to each a part we didn't know. She said that when Paul came out and she spoke with the old priest, he hinted about knowing of places to set Paul straight. Grandma had heard horror stories from these places, and so had Paul, and they both spoke with my parents together about that not being an option at all. My parents never intended to send Paul there and are very casual Catholics, but Grandma wanted to cover the bases just in case. I was told Grandma sounded like she had been crying on the phone, and after the first couple of calls, which went from oldest to youngest, the group chat started to blow. Paul is livid. Our LGBTQ+ cousins are livid and say Mark lied. Even the cousins that were telling me to stop being a stubborn head are livid. By the time I was up for my call, I was already on the way to Grandma's. 2 of my cousins were already there, and the youngest one, Carol, 16, female, was ready to literally fight Mark. For a bit of levity, Carol is about 35 centimeters smaller than Mark, and the image of her swinging at him made me laugh a bit. She asked if I was making fun of her, and I just explained the whole mental image of her trying to hit him, and she admitted it was kind of funny. What I didn't tell her is I would love to slap some sense into Mark. My grandma has been through so much in her life, and this is not what we want for her. She looks puffy-faced and kept asking everybody if they truly felt unloved by her, saying she would do everything for any of us, explaining how Paul was the oldest grandchild, but that didn't mean she loved the rest any less. She is a strong woman, but I think something inside her broke a little with the thought she hurt her grandchildren. It was a show, a big one, and I was just so done with Mark. My parents have been passive towards the situation so far because I asked them to, but after they heard what happened, they told him they need time away from him. Paul is simply disgusted and decided to not speak with him anymore, which he communicated through the cousin group chat, with Mark's response being that this is why Anna's help on reigning all of us would be so beneficial if we just let her. He also added how Paul never cared for him or anybody really, and he just tried to be the center of attention all the time. He cited his coming out, his announcement he was going to marry a woman, the birth of his child. It was ridiculous. He came out when Mark was a toddler, and for many years, only our parents and grandparents knew. He announced he was going to marry his now wife through a text, but didn't interfere or took from anybody. His child was born 4 months before Mark's graduation, and apparently, that was a big issue for Mark that he never commented. Maybe I'm biased, maybe I'm selfish like Anna claims, but I call BS on his tantrum. Every single one of the cousins has been helped, babysat, tutored, gotten out of trouble, you name it, by Paul. He isn't perfect, but he isn't the conniving ass Mark is claiming. Maybe Mark has always felt inadequate, and we didn't notice. Maybe it was his last-ditch effort. Maybe Anna has manipulated him so far that he can't come back. It doesn't matter anymore. If he does marry Anna, I wish him the best. If he doesn't, I hope he goes to therapy. Regardless of what he decides, he burns so many bridges and hurts so many people. I don't see this resolving anytime soon. For now, I will focus on my grandma and making her feel better. I feel extremely guilty because it was Anna's situation with me that opened this can of worms. I know I shouldn't, but it's hard not to. Some of original poster's comments. Commenter, wow. It sounds like it is self-projection from Mark. He is the conniving one he is saying Paul is. Original poster. Paul is the type of older cousin Carol would call if she is drunk at a party and needs a safe ride. He also did it for Mark, which is why I don't get his deal. Commenter, irrational behavior is called that because it can't be rationalized. Mark is exhibiting very irrational behavior, which is why you'll never understand it. The best you can hope for is that he gets some serious therapy and pulls his head out of his ass sooner rather than later. Original poster, if he asked for help and apologized sincerely, I would be there in 2 seconds. He knew what he was doing when he spoke without grandma. He knew it would cause her pain. He knew he would hurt Paul too. Paul might not be crying, but he feels bad about the situation. He has always looked out for everybody and even has pictures of him holding every single one of us as babies all over one of his walls. I always knew they were not the closest of brothers, but this is too much. Commenter, this is not your doing. Understand this is all Anna's fault. She knows it too. I bet money she is realizing how much her need to feel superior to you is costing. Wait. Original poster, logically, I know this is on Anna and Mark, but seeing my grandma so sad and trying to convince everybody she loves us makes me feel bad. I know she will bounce back, though. Commenter, it may be that her purpose is to isolate him. Please tell your grandmother, from another old lady, not to doubt herself because Mark has decided to live in crazy town. Original poster, I don't know anymore. He is still very active with our maternal family so far. I am unsure how they will react when or if they hear what happened because both families have a great relationship. He still has a strong support system when it comes to friends. Some even dislike or disapprove of Anna and are vocal about it. I am seriously on the wave that this was low-key less about me and more a poke to Paul. And thanks, she really needs a lot of love. Commenter, NTA, your little brother and his fiancée sound insane. As he thinks, y'all are obligated to let some unhinged random woman rein you all in because he likes her. With his tactics with your grandma, I think you need to stop saying this is all on Anna. Look back at her having an issue with you because of how you mistreat Mark, which from your account, doesn't seem to happen. It sounds like your brother has created a narrative of the situation that is likely not recognizable as truth by anyone else. Maybe he resents being the kid and no one listening to him and figures he can get his way by acting victim. Who knows? Original poster, you hit a point I've been trying to avoid. Maybe he has been like this all the time, and Anna is just putting a magnifier on it. I must say, he was the center of attention when it was about him. Graduations, birthdays, presentations, engagement party. He got celebrated on his achievements just as loud as everybody else. Grandma tried to always be there. So did our parents. He was always invited to stuff, always asked for his opinion on group decisions. He has always been loved. Commenter, I posted this on the other post, but if she is such a good Catholic, she should know you can't take communion anyway since you weren't married in the church. I wouldn't break the rules for this psycho. Hope your brother gets away from her before she hurts any more people. Original poster. Oh, that is so out of the question now. I wouldn't go to that wedding even if the Pope himself asked me to. I am going no contact with Mark, and so are most of my relatives due to his conversation with Grandma. Thank you for watching. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do so and hit the notification bell to stay updated with more shocking real-life stories happening around you.